Hello, young ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Joseph Butler, your geriatrician, and today we're going to dive deep into a subject that worries many people over 60, your memory. If lately you feel like your mind is not as sharp as it once was, if you forget names more easily, if words sometimes slip away, or if you walk into a room and suddenly cannot remember why you went there, I want you to take a breath and listen carefully. You are not alone, and you are not doomed. Memory changes with age, yes, but not in the way most people imagine. Today, I'm going to explain what really happens inside your brain as the years go by, which changes are normal, which are not, and most importantly, what you can begin doing today to sharpen your memory, strengthen your brain, and slow down cognitive aging in ways that science has repeatedly confirmed. Let us begin with an important truth. Most people believe memory loss is an unavoidable part of aging, but that idea is outdated. What actually happens after 60 is a combination of specific biological and lifestyle factors, not simply the passing of years. After decades as a geriatrician, I can tell you with confidence that the brain does not give up with age. Instead, several processes begin to shift. First, the production of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine naturally decreases. These chemicals are essential for memory, attention, and the ability to learn new things. Second, blood flow to certain regions of the brain, especially the hippocampus, the center of memory formation, begins to slow. And third, many people fall into predictable routines. Without new stimuli, the brain is not challenged, and cognitive pathways weaken through lack of use. So when someone after 60 tells me, "Doctor, I feel like my brain is slowing down," what they're really describing is a combination of chemistry, circulation, and environment, none of which are beyond improvement. Now, let us address one of the biggest misconceptions about memory: the difference between normal age-related forgetfulness and the warning signs of deeper cognitive problems. Normal forgetfulness includes things like misplacing your glasses, momentarily forgetting a name but remembering it later, or going into a room and forgetting the reason you went there. These slips are not signs of cognitive decline. They reflect the brain being less efficient with small retrieval tasks, often due to stress, lack of focus, or fatigue. On the other hand, forgetting important recent events, asking the same question repeatedly, becoming lost in familiar neighborhoods, struggling with regular tasks like cooking or managing medication, or showing unexplained changes in mood or personality, these are signs that must be evaluated by a professional. Still, I want to emphasize this. The majority of memory issues I diagnose in seniors are not dementia. More often, the cause is something else, something far more common, far more subtle, and fortunately, far more treatable. I'm talking about chronic silent inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural defense mechanism, but when it becomes chronic, when it persists beneath the surface day after day, it becomes damaging. And few people realize how strongly chronic inflammation affects the brain. It disrupts communication between neurons, damages the blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients, and interferes with hormones that regulate mood, focus, and alertness. You may not feel this inflammation directly, but you feel its consequences: slower recall, mental fatigue, difficulty concentrating, irritability, brain fog, and the sensation that you're not thinking like yourself. But here is the good news. Inflammation is one of the most modifiable processes in the human body. You have enormous control over it, and that means you have far more control over your memory than you think. So now I want to guide you through the main pillars of memory preservation, the same method I use in my clinic to help hundreds of seniors strengthen their minds. The first pillar is movement. Nothing stimulates the brain quite like physical activity. When you move your body, you increase blood flow, oxygenation, and the release of neurotrophic factors, natural substances that encourage the brain to grow new connections. Walking is one of the simplest but most powerful tools for brain health. A daily 20 to 30-minute walk improves cognitive performance, stabilizes mood, and supports long-term memory. Strength training, even with light resistance, helps boost proteins that protect brain cells and reduce inflammation. The second pillar is sleep, a subject often overlooked but absolutely essential. During sleep, your brain performs a cleanup process that removes toxic waste proteins that accumulate during the day. Without adequate sleep, these proteins linger and interfere with memory formation. Many seniors sleep less deeply, but this can be improved. Set a consistent bedtime, dim the lights an hour before sleep, limit screens, and avoid caffeine after the early afternoon. Quality sleep is the foundation of cognitive vitality. The third pillar is nutrition. Your brain is made of fat, water, and proteins, and it depends deeply on what you eat. Foods like olive oil, almonds, avocados, leafy greens, and berries provide antioxidants and essential fatty acids that repair cell membranes and fight inflammation. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines are rich in omega-3s, which are literally the building blocks of healthy brain cells. Meanwhile, sugar, processed foods, and refined flours ignite inflammation. Many seniors feel mentally sharper just by changing their diet for 2 weeks. The fourth pillar is hydration. As we age, our sense of thirst weakens. By the time you feel thirsty, your brain may already be suffering. Even mild dehydration can cause confusion, brain fog, dizziness, and slower thinking. Drinking water regularly throughout the day keeps your brain functioning at its best. The fifth pillar is mental stimulation. The brain thrives on novelty. It loves new challenges, learning a new language, practicing a musical instrument, taking up a hobby, reading books outside your usual comfort zone. These activities activate cognitive circuits that improve memory, focus, and problem-solving. Routine tasks don't challenge the brain. New experiences do. The sixth pillar is social connection. Studies consistently show that loneliness is one of the strongest predictors of cognitive decline. Human interaction stimulates emotional and cognitive regions of the brain simultaneously. Talking, laughing, sharing stories, participating in groups or community activities. These simple acts are powerful protectors of memory. The seventh pillar involves emotional health. Chronic stress floods your brain with cortisol, a hormone that damages neurons over time. Managing stress through meditation, deep breathing, nature walks, prayer, journaling, or engaging hobbies can dramatically improve cognitive performance. Emotional well-being is not separate from brain health. It is central to it. Let me give you an example from my clinic. I once treated a gentleman in his early 70s who believed he was developing dementia. He had trouble remembering appointments, misplaced things constantly, and felt overwhelmed by simple decisions. But when we looked deeper, his diet was high in sugar. He slept poorly, he rarely exercised, and he felt lonely since his wife had passed away. After 6 months of adjusting lifestyle habits, more walking, better sleep, anti-inflammatory food, hydration, and group activities, his memory improved so much that he no longer felt like the same person. He regained confidence, clarity, and joy. This is what I want you to understand. Memory decline is not destiny. Your brain is not a machine that wears out. It is a living organ that responds to how you treat it. And even in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, your brain can adapt, grow, and recover. Your memory is not gone. It is waiting to be cared for. Aging does not mean losing yourself, your stories, your experiences, your dreams, your humor, your wisdom. These treasures deserve protection, and you can protect them. Every walk you take, every glass of water you drink, every new challenge you try, every night of good sleep you achieve. All of these are investments in the brain you will carry into the future. So, young ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Dr. Joseph Butler, and it's my honor to guide you on this journey. Remember, age is just a number. Vitality is a choice you make every day. Take care of your brain, take care of your health, and live with the clarity, dignity, and purpose that you truly deserve. Until our next meeting.
Join us on Healthcare Seniors.
Be part of our community and watch the next video.